You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. On the 15th of September 2022, R. Kelly was convicted for the second time, this time at a trial in Chicago. Among the 6 counts he was found guilty for were 3 counts of CP. However, until now, we are still dissatisfied with the evidence against which these 3 verdicts were determined. Even the government prosecutors know this very well, the reason they were not as excited when they spoke to the press right outside the Chicago courtroom in the Dirksen Federal Building. The tape evidence used to convict R. Kelly presented a number of gaps that will make you doubt its authenticity to determine anyone guilty. In fact, the court should just be clear and tell the world that they determined R. Kelly guilty of those 3 additional counts, only by following through the witness testimonies and choosing to take their word. But again, words alone are regarded to be mere hearsay. Without concrete physical evidence, the court had no right to arrive at a conviction. In order to use video evidence in court to back up a conviction, it must meet the following standards. 1. It must be reliable. In order to determine video evidence as reliable, it must have been lawfully obtained and from a reliable source. The video evidence must also be authentic and not tampered with in any way. The videotape evidence which was presented at the Chicago trial, on the other hand, cannot be determined reliable, considering it was not lawfully obtained, and was evidently a collection of multiple clips said to have been selected out by whoever edited the content, to highlight specific parts of the footage the editor thought necessary to lead to a conviction. This was a huge compromise on the authenticity of this evidence, and such cannot be used in court to arrive at a conviction. The evidence was evidently tampered with and not usable in court. According to the findings by Daryl McDavid's lawyers, it was reported that one of the government prosecutors had sourced the first tape evidence illegally from renowned R. Kelly witch hunter Jim DeRogatis, and that the two had communicated using a burner email that was later disposed of. It is also said that the prosecutor, through the same email, sought a copy of the journalist's book Soulless about R. Kelly. This approach of sourcing evidence is rather illegal, as it's supposed to be exclusively the role of the police to do this, and not government prosecutors. And certainly not using disposable temporary emails. 2. It must be original and maintain an unbroken chain of custody. The recording to be used as evidence in court must be the original recording that was captured at the site of crime, not a duplicated copy. In R. Kelly's case, witness statements revealed that the so-called tapes had been duplicated a number of times before being presented to the authorities. Jim DeRogatis in his story himself disclosed how he duplicated the tape while at the Sun-Times offices before handing it over to the feds. And he also stated that he did not receive the tape from any known person. According to his story, the tape was delivered incognito into his personal mailbox by an anonymous person. The claim of an anonymous delivery immediately presents a broken chain of custody, making the video evidence invalid and not usable in court. 3. Its authenticity must be verified. Before any video evidence presented in court becomes usable, it must undergo an authenticity verification by independent forensic experts. It is only after this exercise has been conducted, and the evidence determined authentic in a certified forensic report, that it can become applicable as usable evidence in court to arrive at a conviction. In R. Kelly's Chicago trial, however, while the defense attorney Jennifer Bonjean insisted that a forensic expert be employed to determine the authenticity of the so-called video evidence, citing the feds' admittance to the fact that they were not original and a questionable chain of custody, the Honorable Judge Harry Leinenweber was quick to quash her efforts, denying the opportunity. No forensic examination therefore was conducted on the presented tape evidence, but the judge and his jury partners proceeded to use it conclusively, and against what the U.S. law suggests. Also important to note is the fact that the way the tapes had been stored over the 20 years remains questionable, considering we hear stories of tapes being flown in and out of Chicago by the likes of Lisa Van Allen and her group, in an attempt to extort the R&B king of hundreds of thousands of dollars. If over the years such tapes had not been stored in safe lockers by the feds, they are simply not usable. Meanwhile, This same tape evidence had been presented during the 2008 trial, and forensic experts then had conducted an analysis on it and determined the evidence tampered with. The experts then testified that the tape had been doctored and was fake. Why the court decided to ignore the 2008 verdict regarding this evidence, and instead chose to conduct a fresh trial on the same case, we do not understand. It is believed that Judge Leinenweber deliberately refused to invite forensic experts to analyze the tape, because he believes in the 2008 analysis whose results would not lead to the desired verdict in the Chicago court. To ensure he gets a guilty verdict for the 3 counts of CP, therefore, he turned down this request. If he was so sure that the tape evidence the prosecution arraigned before him was indeed authentic, why didn't he allow the forensic experts to do their job and eliminate the doubts? Maybe then we would believe that he was not trying to be prejudicial throughout the trial. According to Antonio Pope, in the United States, it is illegal for a judge to direct a jury to deliver a guilty verdict. A defendant is entitled to a verdict that reflects jurors' genuine beliefs, not one made to conform to normative pressures to end a lengthy deliberation, or to meet an implicit deadline imposed by a judge. The jury decides the verdict, not the judge. This was an injustice to R. Kelly. The corruption in this case is beyond obvious. Bought testimonies, edited video footage, and a judge that pushed a verdict. I hope there will be an appeal soon. According to Ramona Johnson, this is so unfair. What do these people have against R. Kelly? What makes people hate one person so much? This judge needs to be looked into for forcing the jury to find him guilty when they had already made up their minds that he wasn't guilty, and that witnesses lied under oath. Much love and praying for you, R. Kelly. Clearly, there is no way the Chicago judge could have managed to find R. Kelly guilty basing on such unverified tape evidence. And for this reason, the CP charges will be dropped when this case moves to the higher courts of the land. Much as the judge may have wanted so much to find R. Kelly guilty, not like that. If he does follow his sentiments again during the sentencing, he may soon be out of a job, and out of a career for incompetence reasons. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.